Mario Kart World remixes go so hard. Evolution of Sonic's anniversaries. The Boulder Theory. I'll watch
I may have
this.
fallen off the deep end, but hear me out.
I've been thinking about the likelihood of K. Rool appearing, and I was chatting with Skips, the Donkey Kong detective, and he pointed out something peculiar about the cutscene where Ingot Isle falls. So here we have Donkey Kong being whisked away, Ingot Isle is plunging into the ground, and a little runt monkey is laughing it up. The crazy part is that Skips revealed to me that there's more than one person laughing here.
Take a look at this, or rather, take a listen.
Another consistent theme.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? Let me play it again, but this time with the commentary removed.
Courtesy of the guy who spoils all the games.
There's a much deeper voice that can be heard simultaneously, but
So the theory is, like, we don't know. Maybe we do know at this point, because there's been, like, a lot more previews of this game that I haven't looked at. But, like, kind of speculating, like, is King K. Rool the boss of Donkey Kong Bonanza? Is he in this game? And, like, there's a lot of evidence that says, like, he is. But even with that, like, they never confirmed it. They never showed King K. Rool. They never showed, like, actual Kremlins, the crocodiles, you know, like King K. Rool's, like, henchmen, the Kremlins. But you have, like, these rock formations that, like, look a lot like them. You know, they're shaped like alligators. They're shaped like crocodiles. So there's, like, a lot of evidence pointing towards, like, King K. Rool is in the game. And people also said this monkey guy, you look at his eyes, this is, like, the boss of the game right now, this, like, little monkey guy. Void Kong. People are saying this is actually King K. Rool. It might be. I don't know. I think it could be. But it got me thinking, like, is King K. Rool in this game, in Donkey Kong Bonanza? There's, like, a lot of people who want him. Like, I think it would be cool to have King K. Rool, yeah. Because after... Let me look at, like, Donkey Kong games. After Donkey Kong 64, I'm pretty sure. What's all this? This is a weird list. So King K. Rool, I'm pretty sure, was created by Rare. Right? Rare created Donkey Kong Country. And they created, like, so many things. They made DK, like, look like this. They created, like, Diddy Kong. They created, like, all these animal buddies and stuff. Just, like, a crazy game. Donkey Kong Country, and then Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong Country 3. Diddy Kong Racing. Donkey Kong 64. And then I'm pretty sure this is where Rare, like, dropped off on the Donkey Kong series. So King K. Rool was, like, the boss of all these games. But if you look at, like, the trailers for those games, like Donkey Kong 64 trailer, I didn't actually watch this one. What is the Donkey Kong 64 trailer?
This holiday season,
If you see the trailers,
has met its match in the proud tradition of movies with proud traditions.
this is gonna be weird as
Action
hell.
heroes set out on an adventure that could only end one way. In a food fight.
What? Why do they look like that? No. No.
One
Look
way.
at this.
In a
Look at his face. This is a real trailer. Oh my god. And I was just thinking about this, like, it's, like, weird to me that, like, people are adults today that, like, maybe I just feel old, but, like, people are, like, born and they're, like, adults today. When they were born, it was, like, the GameCube was out. So, like, retro to them is, like, GameCube. That's just, like, weird to me. To me, retro is, like, 2D stuff. But like N64 I'd say is retro, sure. Like, but GameCube?
A food fight
Retro?
with Diddy, Lanky, Chunky, Tiny, and Donkey Kong himself in his most challenging role ever. Too big to be a movie. Too dumb to be a book. Too hairy to be anything but Donkey Kong 64. So big, we had to include an expansion pack to get it all in. So ask yourself,
Basically,
are you getting enough fruit
oh my god, his face looks horrible.
or diet?
Oh. So basically what I'm trying to say is they didn't show King K. Rool there. Like, if you look at the Donkey Kong trailers, Donkey Kong Country trailer, they're not showing King K. Rool. He's not in the trailer. But, so like maybe he could be in this game. He could be in Bonanza and they're just not showing him. But you look at the Donkey Kong games, after 64, I'm pretty sure they just stopped using King K. Rool. He wasn't the enemy. There was no more King K. Rool, no more Kremlins. I keep saying Kremlins. Let me just like show Kremlins. That is not. That is not Kremlins. Donkey Kong. Kremlings. Oh, my bad, my bad. Kremlings, right? The alligator, the crocodiles. So these were the enemies of Donkey Kong games. What is this? This looks cool. The Kremlings are, it looks like a ROM hack or something. The first full Donkey Kong Country. I think I need to play through all the Donkey Kong Country games before I play this. Yeah, so Kremlings were like the major enemy, and with King K. Rool as at the top, and after Donkey Kong 64 they just disappeared because Rare stopped making the games. This was made by Retro Studio, Donkey Kong Country Returns. They didn't have Kremlings in this game. They didn't have King K. Rool. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This was another thing I was thinking about, like making a tweet about this. I don't know if I will. It's like, so there's this jump right now, and you can see it with Donkey Kong Bonanza. There's this jump to like 3D, like crazy, like insane 3D platformers like Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I feel like that jump to like crazy 3D platformers should have happened like back on the GameCube. Like, there's been multiple generations of like 2D Donkey Kong. Like, when this game got announced 2010, like that was 15 years ago, Donkey Kong Country Returns, I was kind of like, why? Like, why did they, like, why are they doing that? Why aren't they making like a 3D Donkey Kong game is basically what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this jump to like 3D platformer Donkey Kong game should have happened like 15 years ago. It should have happened like a long time ago. Like, you had the Wii, you had the GameCube, you had the Wii U. We had like multiple generations. You had the 3DS, you had the DS. There was so many opportunities to do this, to make like a 3D Donkey Kong platformer. And I'm not just talking about Donkey Kong. I'm also talking about like Yoshi. Like Yoshi games. I was thinking like, oh, once we get like the GameCube, there should be like a 3D Yoshi game. That was like 20 years ago. But they didn't. They kept making like Yoshi's Woolly World and like, what is it? Yoshi's New Island. I like that game. I liked Yoshi's Island DS. But I'm talking like even Yoshi's Story. They started on the N64 with like a 2D Yoshi game, and then like Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. When both of these games got announced and released, I was just looking at it like why? Like why would they do that? Why would they make a 2D Yoshi game? Like I think this jump to like crazy 3D platformers should have happened like a very, very long time ago. Not like with the Switch 2 in 2025. It should have happened like 20 years ago. Or it didn't. It's like weird to me. Like I didn't like these games. I don't know why they made these games. Like I did like this jump to like 3D Kirby that just happened. That should have happened like 20 years ago too. But like what was I thinking of? Kirby's Epic Yarn. I think that was a good game. Like I would play that game for fun, but I don't think there was a need to make like a Yoshi's Woolly Worlds and then Yoshi's Crafted World after that. They're basically like sequels to Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's like the same idea, same style. But I liked Kirby's Epic Yarn. But then like we got like Kirby's 3D game, first 3D game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which I loved. I love that game. But like, still, I feel like this should have happened like 20 years ago. Not like 2022, 2025, we get like the first 3D Donkey Kong game since 1999. How long? Okay, Donkey Kong 64. And there's an exception to this, what I'm saying right now. All right, so 1999, that was 26 years ago. We had a Donkey Kong platformer, 3D platformer. 26 years ago. And then they started making 2D games. And I was just like, why? Like, why are you doing that on a console? Why don't... Like, on a handheld, maybe it makes sense. But the exception to this, I would say, like Metroid Dread, I thought this was really cool. And I think this was a good game. A 2.5D Metroid game, I think that's a good idea. I want more of that. I like that. But we also have like Metroid Prime, which is like 3D first-person shooter Metroid game. Basically what I'm saying is like this jump to like maybe there's gonna be another 3D Yoshi game soon. I feel like this should have happened like a very, very long time ago. Like why is this happening now? I still like I love it. I like it. Maybe it's because of Astrobot. Like you kind of see like the inspiration of Astrobot in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Maybe like Astrobot getting Game of the Year is like pushing 3D platformers forward.
Another consistent theme.
Yeah,
Did you hear it? Let me play it again, but this time with the commentary removed.
courtesy of the guy who spoils all the games.
There's a much deeper voice that can be heard simultaneously, but who else is laughing?
The best
This guy's
candidate
got
would be
a
Minecraft
Kincaid roll
Steve
amiibo.
Orangutan, but his mouth is closed. Corporate Gibbon also has her mouth closed, so maybe it's the crocoids? I don't think so. It sounds like a singular person laughing, and we have a whole crowd of these crocoid things. Skip said that AI told him that it's the meteor laughing, but I'm not buying it. That brings me to this boulder.
While Voidco is surrounded by crocoids, there's this one nondescript boulder behind them. So I'm over here
I
thinking,
don't know why they're
I like
called
that boulder.
crocoids. I
That
guess
is a nice
'cause they're-
boulder.
I'm also thinking, why is that there? It's kind of ruining
What
the
is this
composition of the
scene?
shot. Voidco is colorful. Why is it?
you're thinking,
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
I'm also thinking.
I'm just
why
like wondering what happens next in that scene.
is
I
it
don't
there?
remember.
It's kind of ruining the composition of the shot. Voidco is colorful and standing in the center of the crowd to draw attention, but the rock sort of washes them out. Also, it moves? Not like it's flying away, but just like swaying. Suspiciously. All the other boulders around them have funny eyes and crocodile shapes, which makes this one kind of stand out.
Here's the deal. I think this rock isn't supposed to be there in the final build of the game. In the retail version of the game, I think we're gonna see some kind of silhouette of King K. Rool laughing behind the Voidco guys.
It just makes
Like
sense.
the Pauline.
It would let us know
I think it's weird that Pauline's a little girl.
who that mystery entity is laughing in the shot
think
and
it's weird.
tease the adventure ahead.
And get rid of that strangely placed
Boulder.
in the cutscene. I very well might be a lunatic. Watching too much Croc Watch and huffing the Krem Cope. What if I told you there's even more Kremling evidence that's come about in the last few days? Legassini on X-Twitter made this chart detailing the proportions of the crocoid skeletons. Also, he has a really sick K. Rool in Ultimate. The proportions of
Really?
the crocoid skeletons. Also,
I mean,
he
it's-
made this
it's,
chart
like, kinda
detailing the
obvious.
proportions of the crocoid skeleton.
That like the crocoid things. These are like enemies in Donkey Kong Bonanza, the crocoids. It's like kind of obvious that these are the Kremlings. Kremlings. They just are.
Skeletons. Also, he has a really sick K. Rool in Ultimate. That's pretty neat. In the chart, we've got a lot to digest.
Oh.
The crocoid skeletons. That's pretty
Whoa,
neat.
I never made
Crocoid
that connection.
skeletons. Also,
There's
he's a
like golden crocoids and there's also like a golden K. Rool
really
skin
sick
in
K. Rool
Smash
Ultimate.
Bros.
That's pretty neat. In the chart,
And that's like another big reason why King K. Rool is probably in the game. King K. Rool was just like a big deal in Smash. Like King K. Rool as a character in
we've got a
Smash.
lot to digest here. The crocoid skeletons not only have the same proportions as the Kremlings, they also have the same stance. Thanks to certain instances in Mario Strikers and
I mean, I
Donkey Kong
say
Country,
just, but that was like 9 years ago.
we can see what Kremling skeletons looked like in the past.
Right?
Would you look
yeah.
at that, Scott?
The proportions are the same.
Okay, still not convinced?
Was it? What? Ah, King K. Rool Smash. He was like part of 2018. Yeah, I think he came out with the game not 9 years ago, like 7 years ago. I didn't know if he came out like with the game or he was like DLC.
Family Boards was talking about all the recent Kremling and DK references in other Nintendo games.
Nathan Little shares that in Animal Crossing, we have Gulliver coming from Crocodile Isle when he washed up in New Horizons. Professor Chops detailed that we have this box art present in Splatoon. We have all the references of King K. Rool in Smash Ultimate. In the character blurbs, it says that King K. Rool's favorite hobby is stealing bananas. In the Palatina's Guidance Easter egg, we can see that
Favorite
Pit and
hobby.
whoever this is are talking about how K. Rool likes bananas too. Kinda lines up with the Banana Bandit dialogue.
Why does he
that
like
Frankie has in
bananas
Bonanza,
as a
especially
crocodile?
Considering the lines of the Smash Ultimate dialogue were written around the same time planning for
I don't think he likes bananas. I think he likes Donkey Kong's bananas. What do crocodiles eat? Ugh. What is that? Young crocodiles consume insects, crustaceans, and small fish. As they mature, their diet... Just like looking at this, something like this makes my like... Makes me feel uneasy, like I'm gonna get attacked by a crocodile or something. Larger animals like birds, fish, reptiles, and mammals. Yeah, they eat like humans. They don't eat bananas.
Bonanza was likely underway. Sakurai prefers to work with the stewards of the characters when implementing new fighters, and that would have been an easy task with the Donkey Kong franchise being brought to Japan around 2017. They also specifically call out the Kremlings and explain them, which is kind of interesting. Speaking of Smash Ultimate, I think people really underestimate how big this inclusion was. They didn't add that many new characters with this entry. They were really choosy about it, mostly adding characters from their biggest franchises like Pokemon, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. K. Rool and Ridley were heavily requested from the fan base, but Nintendo's also trying to build up these franchises after a state of dormancy. Metroid's activity speaks for itself, but Donkey Kong was a long play.
And here's the kicker. They could have added Dixie, Cranky, or Funky, and lots of people would have been happy, but they chose the Kremlin King.
That says something about where Nintendo's head is at with the franchise going forward. You wouldn't put a character on a platinum pedestal in Smash to skip him in the grand reboot of the Donkey Kong series. I mean, look at the rest of the Ultimate roster. It's practically an advertisement.
So what does this all mean? When you look at it individually, not much, but when you take a whiff, what kind of stink Nintendo's been simmering with the Kremlings, you see how we got here.
Dino Man on Famiboards did a deep dive on the Japanese name of the Kremlings. In the Japanese localizations of Donkey Kong games, they seem to religiously make sure that the name of the Kremling enemies start with a K. So much so that
I saw this video that was like, I didn't watch it. It was like, the whole Donkey DK crew is in Bonanza, and I'll prove it. He's like, Chunky Kong's in there, Lanky Kong's in there, Tiny Kong's in there. I mean, I hope so. I hope, like, you had this game, like, 26 years ago where you could play as all these characters, and yeah, like, people say it sucks because you need to, like, go back to the barrel and, like, change characters, but, like, I mean, Donkey Kong's moveset in this game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, is, like, so advanced, and there's so many things you can do, and you can, like, dress him up and stuff, to the point where I don't think you'll be able to play as anyone else, and you have, like, Bonanza transformations. This game's, like, all about Donkey Kong. But I think it would be cool if you could play as other Kongs.
they even invented names for enemies in Donkey Kong 64 that didn't originally begin with K.
They were even more committed to the bit than the Brits who made it up. Wild.
So there they are, designing Crocoids, and what letter do they choose? It's gotta be a K.
All that being said, I don't read or speak Japanese, and I believe Dino Man here doesn't either. So take it with a grain of salt, but the parallels are fascinating.
I'm sure that at this point, if you care at all about this game, you've heard about this map. The Northern Cremisphere in all its glory. It's interesting that they're pulling from Dixie's Double Trouble, as that game is all about exploration. As we saw on Island
So
Fall
this
in
map
DKC
is...
2, this map.
Parallels are fascinating.
I'm sure
It
that
doesn't
at this point,
explain
if you
this, but, like, if you find treasure chests in this game, it might be all of the maps, but this map, you find, like, a map in the game Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it shows a fossil on it, and the map in the background is the same map as, like, the map in Donkey Kong Country
care
3.
at all about this game, you've heard about this map. The Northern Cremisphere.
So there's, like, all these theories going on, like, maybe, like, you're in the underground in Donkey Kong Bonanza, but maybe, like, you're finding fossils from, like, Donkey Kong Country 3. So maybe this is, like, the underground of this area or something.
In all its glory. It's interesting that they're pulling from Dixie's Double Trouble, as that game is all about exploration. As we saw on Island Fall in DKC 2, we see another one rise in the Cremisphere.
There's
in the
also,
form
like,
of
these
Krematoa
lights.
in DKC 2.
These, like, pink and blue lights are, like, all over Donkey Kong
We
Bonanza.
see another one rise in the Cremisphere in the form of Krematoa in DKC 3.
I've watched, like, a lot of these, like, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I don't know how much
theory
louder the signals can
videos.
be. The whole shtick of this game is a rare era callback.
Krematoa is the last world of DKC 3, and you fight Baron K. Rulenstein at the end of it in his submarine, the Nautilus, with a silent K, if you're paying attention.
I think
Giuseppe,
Nintendo losing
what kind of
Rare
fossil
was,
do we
like,
see on
one
the
of the
map
worst
again?
things.
A Nautilus? A Nautilus! A Nautilus. What's even more nutty about this area is this balloon. It is bare paw prints,
Wait, I don't get
which,
it.
sure, might be totally unremarkable to the
What are you saying about
Nautilus.
what is it? What
You
is a
see on the map
nautilus?
again?
A Nautilus?
Oh, that's an area in Donkey Kong Country 3 is a nautilus. It's a green fish-shaped vehicle. Wow. They're just like making a lot of connections and showing a lot of love to the rare games, which is
A
cool.
Nautilus. What's even more nutty about this area is this balloon. It has bare paw prints on it, which, sure, might be totally unremarkable to the normies out there, but to the freaks like me who played through DKC 3 back in the day, this means something. The Brothers Bear played a vital role in the game, as in, you were not getting to the end of it with
I definitely didn't play through these games. I played, so I had the first one when I was little, Donkey Kong Country, and that game was like so hard. I don't think, I was little. I didn't get like too far. Still, that game is like very hard. But maybe at some point I'll like play through those games. I did like, I have like a little YouTube clip. I was like playing that game like 2 years ago. Or
without
something.
bringing a present from Blizzard Bear to Blue Bear. Then when Blue Bear opens it, he finds it's a bowling ball. It's a little too heavy. He doesn't like it. You have to bring it over to Bazooka Bear so that he can shoot you through a cannon to get to the Banana Bird cave that's hanging, you know, at the top of the map there. And look, man, I don't
Sounds
know what to tell
cool.
you. Donkey Kong Country 3 is weird. Here's the thing, though. These guys are hilarious. Surely the most criminally
Wait.
underrepresented Donkey Kong character. Here's the thing, though. These guys are hilarious. Look, man, I don't know what to hang it over to Bazooka Bear.
What is
so that
this
he can shoot you
picture?
through a cannon to get to the Banana Bird cave that's hanging, you know, at the top of the map there. And look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Donkey Kong Country 3.
Why is there an N64 here with these like, these characters are from the Super Nintendo game. I don't know. This picture is confusing.
Is weird. Here's the thing, though. These guys are hilarious. Surely the most criminally underrepresented Donkey Kong characters. I guess Banjo sort of stole the spotlight from them, but their designs are peak rare, if you ask me. I swear if any of these bears are in this game, I'm gonna freak out.
I
Whether
was
this is
thinking
just a
about
cheeky little
Banjo.
Easter egg or a significant part of the story only time will tell. But even so, it's remarkable because these guys have been MIA for decades. And would you look at that, folks? After all these little nods to DKC 3 and the Bears, we find Nintendo is doing NSO icons for the same game that's been referenced in the main demo area of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm finding that a little curious.
Really?
Curious with a K, that is.
Honestly, I haven't seen this attention to detail and world building in any other Nintendo game.
They rarely care about this stuff to the point where they make up non-canon prequels to games and throw out major elements in sequels. The gameplay comes first. and
Yeah.
honestly, I'm fine with that. But this game is just built different.
They're like
We have New Donk
outsourcing the
City,
story
Northern
of
Hemisphere, DK
Zelda.
Isle was mentioned in the opening cutscene. The world of Donkey Kong has never felt so connected. They're bringing so many rare elements back to the table, like the recent Nintendo Today app reveal. They have DK making a bunch of goofy faces, and what's that music I hear? It's Ramby's theme from DK64
Yeah,
playing
I've
in the
heard that.
background.
How much
This
time?
is a deep cut. Even Grant Kirkhope forgot it was in the game.
How old
and
is this video?
he wrote the song.
'Cause
They're
we've
15
seen
tracks
Ramby
ahead of
at this
one
point.
In terms of memorability. Yet
We've seen
there it is.
Ramby and
This game is
Diddy
going to be
and
stuffed to the
Dixie.
gills with Easter eggs, fan service, and genuine lore and world building.
I don't know how exactly it all fits together.
It's crazy how
My
like
best guess is
Mario
that while
Kart
DK
World is
in the
out
lagoon,
and I
he's
could play
below
that,
the
but I'm
Northern
just like
Hemisphere. But we don't
obsessing
necessarily know if
over
the
this
progression
game.
in this
I-
game is
I
just
think this
DK
game is,
traveling
like-
directly down, or if
it's like
there's
a
some sort
3D
of hollow
platformer.
earth thing below the surface.
I'm even loving the
different.
way it connects with Mario.
Silica Kong 20XX commented that the monkeys in the lagoon look very similar to these chimps from Mario Galaxy 2, and that's a deep cut, ladies and gentlemen. They got the monkey from
That
Mario
is
Galaxy
true.
2. Kind of funny considering they were at one point thinking about putting Donkey Kong in that game. So I don't know. The Cremometer is reading at about 99%.
At this point, I would be shocked if King K. Rool wasn't in the game. I also think we could put our worries to bed about whether this game will abandon DK's history or not.
It's shaping up to be the most
But
well
with
thought
all
out.
the stuff Nintendo is showing about this game, like there's like hours. There's hours of gameplay that they showed themselves. And then like if you go to a kiosk, I haven't done this, but if you go to like not a kiosk. You go to like a Target, a Walmart, a store that has a Nintendo Switch set up, you can play like a demo for Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I haven't done that, but now there's footage online of people doing that, and they're just like scouring through the game, playing it all, playing everything you can. But at this point, with everything Nintendo's shown about this game, I feel like they should have shown K. Rool at this point. Like, they're showing this much of the
Now,
game.
connected version of DK's world we've seen since the days of Donkey Kong Country. Who knows? Maybe they'll even reference an Anab in the game or let you punch the moon back into the planet.
The sky's the limit with what this game seems to be cooking, and I couldn't wait to see more.
That was like a spoiler of... I already had that
Windmaker
spoiler.
is getting more broken. You can now beat all of Earth Temple in just 2 minutes, and we can perform one of the hardest glitches in the game completely for free. And it's all thanks to this. That's right. After just 2 weeks.
There's that
Don't y'all just
squirting
love it when we
was
wake up to
just-
some really freaking good news? That